Hello, and thank you for joining me at Spooky Reviews. I'm the Ghostess, and Halloween is my favorite time of year. And who better to spend it with than Michael Myers? So, in honor of the season, I'll be recapping the entirety of the Halloween franchise in under 13 minutes. Start the clock now. There will be spoilers. You've been warned. Halloween. A young babysitter shirks her responsibilities to have very brief sex before being stabbed by a masked clown killer, and surprise, it's her young brother, Michael Myers. 15 years later, his psychologist, Dr. Sam Loomis, has come to transfer him to his parole hearing when the escaped Michael steals his car and heads to Haddonfield. On the way, he kills a mechanic to steal his jumpsuit, shoplifts a bleached William Shatner mask, and digs up his sister Judith's gravestone. While walking with the boy she's babysitting, Laurie Strode, the local realtor's daughter, drops off the Myers house key, catching Michael's attention. He proceeds to stalk Laurie and her friends, Linda, whose main characteristic is saying totally every other word, and Annie, the sheriff's daughter and a terrible babysitter, as they talk about boys and sex and their plans for Halloween. Meanwhile, Dr. Loomis is on Michael's trail, trying to convince the town police that Michael has come home to kill again. Annie decides to dump the little girl she's babysitting onto Laurie so she can go screw her boyfriend, but Michael's waiting for her in the car and she gets got. Linda and her boyfriend Bob go to the house where Annie was babysitting to have very brief sex in the parents' bedroom before Bob goes down to get a beer and Michael pins him to the wall. Ever the prankster, Michael dresses up like a ghost in glasses before stabbing Linda to death. Laurie stumbles upon Michael's murder tableau and runs for help, and Michael chases her down. Laurie stabs him again and again and again until Dr. Loomis shows up and shoots Michael out the window. But in only a matter of seconds, he's back on his feet and ready for round 2. Halloween 2. We open at the end of the last movie where Dr. Loomis discovers that Michael, despite being stabbed in the neck, eye, chest, and shot 6 times out a window, has escaped and is now on the loose. Michael steals an old woman's butcher knife, but instead of making a ham sandwich, he breaks into the neighbor's house and stabs her to death. But Michael still has a murder itch that only the staff in the world's emptiest hospital can scratch. Laurie gets taken to that hospital, where she's treated by a drunken doctor and the flirty EMT Jimmy. Loomis sees a red herring in a Michael Myers costume, chases him into the street, and the poor teen gets struck by a cop car and bursts into flames. Since no one has peripheral vision, Michael is free to do what he does best in the hospital: stalk, cut the phone lines, and kill, kill, kill. Inattentive security guard gets a hammer to the dome, stoner EMT Bud gets strangled, horny nurse Grace gets turned into a sexy soup, drunken doctor and the not-so-helpful aide get air injections, the head nurse has her blood drained, and nurse Melissa gets scalpeled in the back. Laurie has some retroactive continuity flashbacks, revealing she was actually adopted by the Strodes, and is Michael Myers' long-lost sister. When Dr. Loomis finds out the news, he pulls a gun on the marshal, ordered to take him back to Smith Grove Asylum, and demands to be taken to Laurie's location. Laurie goes on the run, but Michael's slow and steady wins the race as he eventually catches up to her. After Michael walks face first through a glass door, Loomis unloads a revolver into him, but that doesn't stop him from slitting the marshal's throat and continuing on his quest. Laurie shoots him in both eyes, somehow only blinding him and not, splattering his brains on the wall, while Loomis fills the room with gas and strikes a lighter, causing the boogeyman to burst into flames, which at first only mildly inconveniences Michael before he drops seemingly to his death. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Since moviegoers loved the unkillable psycho stalker Michael Myers so much, naturally the studio decided, fuck that, let's make this an anthology series. We follow a doctor trying to solve the mysterious murder of a patient with the help of the man's daughter, following clues to a mask manufacturing plant owned by a strange Irish man where his crew of melting robot assistants are using pieces of Stonehenge to imbue Halloween masks with magic that turn the wearer into a pile of spiders and snakes when forced to watch a hypnotic TV show. It's as stupid as it sounds. Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. The boogeyman is back, baby. It's 10 years after Dr. Loomis and Michael burned alive in a fiery hospital explosion. But it must have been one of those non-lethal kinds of fires that only burns your hands and a little bit of your face, as our killer is once again alive and in transit when he escapes by putting his thumb through a doctor's forehead. We then meet Jamie Lloyd, Laurie's daughter, who is plagued by nightmares about Michael Myers, meaning Laurie was the kind of mom who told traumatizingly inappropriate stories in vivid detail to her small child before dying of "I don't want to be in the sequel-itis." Understanding the importance of his signature style, Michael kills a gas station attendant for his jumpsuit, has a brief standoff with Dr. Loomis before torching the place and heading off to Haddonfield. Jamie's foster sister Rachel takes her to pick out a clown costume for trick-or-treating. Coincidentally, at the same time and place, her uncle has gone to grab a new Shatner mask. Loomis hitches a ride with a drunken priest at Haddonfield, warning police that Myers wants to kill his niece. While trick-or-treating, Rachel discovers her boyfriend Brady is cheating on her with the new sheriff's daughter, losing track of Jamie temporarily in the process. Meanwhile, Michael electrocutes a man into causing a citywide blackout and murders an entire police station off-screen. A mob of drunks with shotguns team up to find Michael themselves and end up killing a civilian accidentally in the process. The main characters take refuge in the sheriff's house, but nails in the door can't keep Michael from his mission. The deputy gets killed, the sheriff's daughter gets skewered by a shotgun, and Brady gets his face crushed, giving Jamie and Rachel time to escape to the roof and outside as Michael walks calmly after them. Luckily, the two girls run into a mob of rednecks with shotguns. Michael Cape Fears his way onto the back of the truck, slaughtering the rednecks and leaving Rachel to defend her foster sister. Rachel runs Michael over with a truck just as the police arrive to unload a full firing squad, knocking him into a shallow grave. But lo, it appears that young Jamie is picking up where Michael left off. Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. So it turns out Jamie only maimed her stepmother and was promptly sent to a psychiatric hospital. The super traumatized child has been rendered mute and is seemingly psychically linked to her uncle, and spends the running time having seizures every time Michael goes after someone, while Dr. Loomis shouts at her for answers about what she sees. Michael was taken in by a kindly old groundskeeper because because being shot 1,000 times is definitely something you can heal from, and he promptly kills the man upon waking. Rachel, recently upgraded from foster sister to stepsister somehow, is back for a minute before Michael scissors her, and not in the fun, sexy way. Michael then turns his attention to Rachel's friend Tina, killing her boyfriend, stealing his car, and trying to take Tina on a hot date before the cops intervene. Jamie has a vision of Tina being murdered, so she escapes the psychiatric hospital with a fellow patient to try and save her. Michael also heads to the party, killing Tina's friends and the police before going into maximum overdrive, trying to run down Tina, then the child patient Billy, and then Jamie before crashing the car into a tree. But they're not out of the woods yet, so Tina nobly throws herself in the knife's path, allowing the kids to get to the police. Loomis sets up an ambush at the Myers house with Jamie as bait. Loomis tries to talk Michael out of murdering, but he gets slashed and smashed through a window. He lynches a cop while Jamie escapes through a laundry chute, making her way to the attic where she finds Michael's victim. Jamie asks Michael to take off his mask, and as he does, he sheds a single tear before going back into a murderous rage. Using Jamie as a lure, Loomis traps Michael under a net, shoots him with tranquilizer darts, and then hits him with a board until he collapses on top of him exhausted. Michael is placed under arrest until a mysterious man in black with the same wrist tattoo as Michael shoots up the police station and breaks him loose. On to part 6. Halloween Part 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. So 6 years later, 15-year-old Jamie Lloyd is giving birth in a basement surrounded by mysterious cult members doing a weird ritual involving the same rune that was tattooed on Michael's wrist. She escapes with her baby to a bus station and stashes it in a terminal, and Michael chases her to a farm where she either gets killed in a drill, like in the director's cut, or stabbed, taken to a hospital, and shot by the man in black in the producer's cut. Tommy Doyle has grown up into Paul Rudd and finds the baby stashed at the bus station. Meanwhile, Dr. Loomis meets up with his old friend Dr. Wynn, aka the man in black, who is sending scary voiced demon messages to Danny Strode, telling him to kill his family, who currently reside in the Myers house. But Michael pretty much beats him to it when he arrives home, axing, electrocuting, stabbing, and slashing his way through the Strode family. Kara, Tim's mom, runs to the rescue, only to discover that everyone around her is a member of the Thorn Cult, who control Michael with an ancient rune that caused him to murder his way through his family and father a child with his niece, and is awakened due to a constellation that appears every time they want to make a Halloween sequel. Tommy Doyle uses rune magic to thwart Michael's murder attempts, and the group escapes. And either Dr. Loomis gets murdered off screen, or the curse is passed on to Dr. Loomis by Dr. Wynn, forcing him to become Michael's murder commander. Halloween H2O. So remember everything that happened in the last 4 movies? Forget about all that shit. Dr. Loomis's nurse arrives home to find that all of her paperwork on Laurie Strode has disappeared and she gets got, along with her neighbor boy Joseph Gordon-Levitt. We cut to an all-grown-up Laurie Strode who apparently faked her death and is now living with her son Josh Hartnett under the name Carrie Tate, acting as a headmistress of a boarding school in California. While most of the students are off to Yosemite for Halloween, Hartnett and his girlfriend Michelle Williams and his friends play hooky and plan for a night of teen sex and partying. While living it up in their own secret party den, who shows up but Michael Myers, alive and well without any explanation as to how he survived that hospital fire, and is back to finally kill his sister, and in the meantime, his nephew's friends. A slit throat here, a smashed leg there, someone gets turned into a human lampshade, ooh, and a Janet Leigh cameo. Josh Hartnett gets stabbed, and Laurie comes face to face with the man of her nightmares. Laurie's boyfriend, the guidance counselor, empties all of Laurie's bullets into LL Cool J, the security guard and amateur romance novelist, before getting one of Michael's patented knife pick-me-ups. Laurie allows her son and his girlfriend to escape before heading back to finish Michael off once and for all. Laurie stabs him and knocks him off a ledge, but gets stopped before giving the finishing blow by a still alive Cool J at the last second. But Laurie knows better and she steals the van carrying Michael's body before he wakes up. The two of them fight and she drives the van off a cliff. And finally, Laurie Strode decapitates Michael, killing him off once and for all. Halloween Resurrection. Did I say once and for all? Because what I actually meant was that Michael Myers switched out his body with a paramedic and Laurie actually killed an innocent person and that drove her insane and now she's in a mental hospital. So Michael tracks her down and Laurie almost kills him, but then Michael stabs her and throws her off a roof, and that's the end of Laurie Strode. Finally accomplishing his magnum opus, Michael passes on his knife and gets ready to retire back to his childhood home. Little does he know that Busta Rhymes and Tyra Banks have set up a reality show. No, not that one. This one has college co-eds wearing body cams as they snoop around the Myers place, which has been planted with fake creepy stuff, and it all streams live on the interwebs to an audience including the internet boyfriend of our main character, Sarah. But Michael hates how fake reality shows get, so one by one he cuts down the cast. He tripods the camera crew, pulls the pervy dweeb through a mirror and stabs him in the skull, impales the smart girl on a gate, decapitates the fame-hungry blonde, crushes Rebel Kid's skull, stabs the chef with his own knives, and hangs Tyra Banks out to dry. Internet boyfriend guides Sarah through the house as Michael stalks her down. Busta Rhymes gets stabbed and Sarah makes it to the garage, fighting Michael poorly with a chainsaw. The garage catches on fire because of all of the fallen camera equipment, and Busta busts in, not down for the count yet, and he electrocutes Michael in a puddle of blood. And that's how Busta Rhymes saved the day again. Halloween 2007 version. So you know, like the first 10 minutes of the original Halloween, what if we made that like half of the movie? And everyone talks like a redneck knockoff Tarantino character? And let's make the family really abusive with a stepfather who mocks his kid and hits on his stepdaughter? And let's have a bully at
school that Michael beats to death with a bat and a clown mask. And let's throw in a rape scene of a mentally ill woman, because that should be fun. And definitely keep the part where Michael Myers kills a mechanic for his signature jumpsuit. This movie tries to show you what a real child killer would be like poorly. Gets points for effort, but loses a ton on execution. Honestly, I think a lot of it is because the kid playing Michael Myers has such a chubby angel baby face and the screeching, whining voice of a dying cat. Gets points for having Danny Trejo, loses points for killing Danny Trejo. Gets points for Malcolm McDowell, loses points for making his Dr. Sam Loomis such a douche. Gets points for Brad Dourif, loses points for not making this Chucky versus Michael. But once it picks up where the other left off, it's a fairly faithful, updated remake, as Laurie Strode and her friends are stalked by a mysterious killer Michael Myers as they discuss boys and sex and their Halloween plans before he begins killing everyone, including Laurie's parents and Annie's boyfriend in this version, until it's just Laurie and the kid she's babysitting while Dr. Loomis and the sheriff try to track him down before Laurie seemingly kills him herself. At least they won't have to try to retcon so hard in the sequel. Halloween 2, 2009. Screaming redneck assholes round 2, baby. It begins with an homage to Halloween 2 as Laurie is carted off to the world's emptiest hospital and Michael is in fast pursuit after his morgue truck crashes into a cow. Whoops, that's just a dream sequence. Or is it? No, Laurie has now transformed into a screeching emo Courtney Love, living with Sheriff Chucky and her friend Annie, traumatized from her experiences and furious at the world. Douchebag Dr. Loomis is on a book tour about Michael Myers, revealing that Laurie is actually Angel Myers, Michael's sister, which Laurie discovers when she reads the book. Michael transients his way back to Haddonfield, slaughtering a strip club and killing Laurie's friends, all while having bizarre dreams of his mother with a white horse. He eventually kidnaps Laurie and has a showdown with Loomis. Michael is killed by police, who then also shoot Laurie as she picks up Michael's knife. The movie ends in an ambiguously strange way, with the song Love Hurts playing, as Laurie is shown grinning in what appears to either be heaven or a mental ward. Halloween 2018. Forget all the movies but the first one. It's 40 years after Michael Myers was shot out of a window and captured, but he once again escapes while they're transferring him, like he always does. Stop taking him to his second location! He immediately kills a hunter and his son to steal their truck and butchers two investigative reporters. And if there's one consistent thing in this franchise, it's that nobody has peripheral vision and Michael loves killing mechanics for their sweet, sweet jumpsuits. Laurie has gone full Sarah Connor over what happened to her, losing custody of her daughter Karen due to her paranoia, although now her estranged granddaughter Allison is trying to reconnect. When Laurie gets word of the escape, she plans to hunt down Michael once and for all. The boogeyman blends into the trick-or-treating Haddonfield crowd, killing the unfortunate residents he comes across, including Laurie's granddaughter's friends, who are babysitting. Michael stabs another teen and chases Allison down until she finds the police. Unfortunately, replacement Dr. Loomis has been driven mad by Michael's impenetrable mind and kills the sheriff for trying to kill Michael, and then locks Allison in the car with Michael before he wakes up and kills fake Loomis. As Allison flees, Michael dispatches the police in front of Laurie's home, kills Karen's husband, and comes after Laurie again. After an extended cat-and-mouse game between the three generations of Strode women, Laurie traps Michael in her bomb shelter basement before blowing her house completely to bits, Michael included.
And just like that, Halloween is over. Until next year. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And check out the other recaps I've done on Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street. Boo for now!